everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to discuss something which can often cause a lot of confusion, and rightly so. What is the difference between a celebrant and a registrar? If you're planning your wedding, you've likely come across these two terms and maybe don't know what either of them do. So follow along and I'll get to it. So firstly, let's discuss registrars. A registrar is an official government employee whose job it is to handle the legal side of the marriage. So this means signing the wedding certificate, the marriage certificate, and making sure that your marriage is legally recognised by UK law. That sounds straightforward, right? But here's the catch. Registrar ceremonies are usually pretty short and there isn't much room for personalisation. Generally speaking, they have limited script that they'll just pop your name into, and that's about it. Usually you are allowed to write your own vows. You may be allowed to have a reading as long as it's secular, which means non-religious. Often also registrars can only work from certain venues, licensed venues, and can only do certain set times for their ceremonies, as they have multiple ceremonies in one day. So if you're wanting your ceremony to be somewhere that's bespoke and meaningful to you, a registrar may not be the best option for you. Now let's talk about celebrants. That's me. So what is the difference? While I don't handle the legal part and the paperwork, I'm all about creating your ceremony and making it bespoke and meaningful to you, getting to know you and write your love story into the script. As a celebrant, I can lead ceremonies anywhere, at any time, and with any theme or style that you would like. It can be in a magical woodland, on a sandy beach, or even in your own back garden. Of course, it can still be at a licensed venue. It just means that the possibilities are endless. So what about the legal stuff? Okay, so generally what happens with my couples, and most couples who decide to have a celebrant-led wedding, they'll have a registrar-led ceremony at the registry office before the ceremony itself, the wedding ceremony itself, on their day. You can have it on that day or any day before or after. Most of my couples tend to do it a week or so beforehand. They'll go to the registry office, have their set ceremony, small ceremony, usually just them and the two witnesses, or them and a small selection of family. And then they can go out for a meal or something afterwards to celebrate. And that's the day they do their legal side of things. And then they've got their wonderful wedding day to celebrate with all of their best loved ones and do it in their style and make it meaningful to them. So I'm finding that with most of my clients and people that I'm talking to at wedding fairs, it's all about reframing how we see things. So back in ye olde days, and even some of the grandparents still around now, the belief is that a wedding isn't a real wedding if it's not in a church. I've had this discussion with a grandparent at a wedding fair recently, and I said, but what if one or neither of the couple are religious in any way? Obviously it doesn't necessarily even have to be a church. It could be another religious body, a religious building. And obviously, if you're religious, that totally makes sense. But if you're not, or it's a mixed faith relationship, then perhaps having a celebrant or a registrar is a better option. But it is reframing. So now, that's sort of an old-fashioned way of thinking. And now a lot of people think they have to have a registrar-led ceremony as their main wedding, because otherwise it's not a real thing. But it is. It is a real thing. Is it meaningful? Does it speak to who you are? Does it celebrate you and your relationship? Then it's real. I like to think about it like this. When a baby is born, you have to go to the registry office to register the birth. but you may still decide to have a naming ceremony or christening or similar to celebrate welcoming that baby into your life and family. When somebody dies, you have to register the death, but you still have a celebration of life or a funeral and a wake. When you get married, you still have to register the marriage, but then you have the wedding and that wonderful celebration with all of your loved ones there. So it's really about changing how we think about things. Now, at the moment, there is a marriage law reform going through Parliament, trying to get us celebrants able to do the legal side. You can in Scotland, but England and Wales are still behind. I have no idea if and when this is ever going to come into play. Obviously, we all hope it does, and all us celebrants will be trying to get on that training so that we're able to give that to our couples. But currently, at this moment in time, the end of 2024, we're still in this state where we're not able to do the legal side. If you did want a registrar-led ceremony, you want a quick, no-frills marriage, go to the registry office or get the registrar out to a hotel or another licensed venue. Of course, you can do that. And I had a registrar-led wedding. Me and my husband had a registrar-led wedding. That was 12 years ago now, and I didn't know a celebrant was an option. But now we're becoming more and more popular. More people are hearing about us, learning about what we do, and acknowledging that what we do is really special. Some people even think about it as this. When you think about getting a license for a marriage in Las Vegas, you have the quick signing and then you go on to the fun part. It's the same sort of thing. I'm there to bring your vision to life, and the best part is it is completely customizable to you. With your celebrant, you can write your own vows. We may even help with that if you're struggling. You can include any rituals that are meaningful to you and your culture or your beliefs. You can even bring in your own personal beliefs, be it spiritual, religious, or secular. We can create a wonderful ceremony which truly speaks to who you are as a couple. You can have your favourite readings, bits of text, bits of songs. You can even have inside jokes. Now, registrar ceremonies are generally speaking a lot more formal. They have to happen in a licensed venue. There are a lot more restrictions and rules that you have to follow in order to have your registrar-led ceremony. A lot of it depends on the registrar. Obviously, you don't meet your registrar until the day itself. But there are rules about not being able to have any drink open on site, as in alcohol drink open on site before the ceremony. I have heard tale of, if you've seen them, some ceremonies have a board at the front, welcoming them in, saying the wedding of X and Y. But very funny ones where it will say, for example, one of my couples had this: welcome to the wedding of April featuring Michael. So bride's name featuring groom's name. It's a bit of humour, it's light-hearted, but I have heard of someone having this as their welcoming sign for their registrar-led ceremony, the registrar turning up, seeing that sign and refusing to do the ceremony. I'm not saying all registrars would do that at all. It very much is an individual basis, but they see that as not taking it seriously enough and refusing to do your ceremony on the day. Also, registrars usually have to go off to do other ceremonies straight after because they have back-to-back ceremonies most days. Most celebrants will only book one ceremony a day. There may be occasional options where if someone's got an early morning ceremony and then an evening ceremony, a celebrant may decide to do both, but that is quite rare. So if you want freedom in your ceremony to have it your way, make it bespoke to you, meaningful to you, a bit more relaxed feel if you want, a celebrant is right for you. If you want to involve your pets or have themed wedding or a bit of quirky personalisation, totally include that in a celebrant ceremony. The celebrant, like me, can make that happen. We work with you to create your bespoke ceremony and make it feel authentically and meaningfully yours. If you want to get married somewhere meaningful to you, have full control over what is said and what is included, any rituals that you would like in there, symbolic elements that you would like to include, readings that you would like. If you want to be able to include religious or spiritual aspects, then an independent celebrant is your option. And that's me. I'm an independent celebrant. Remember, the legal side is just a formality. Your celebrant-led ceremony is where the magic truly happens. Oh, and one more thing. Celebrants don't just do weddings. We can also do naming ceremonies, vow renewals, and funerals. At this moment in time, I don't do funerals, but many of my celebrant friends do. Truly memorable funerals or celebrations of life. But I do vow renewals and naming ceremonies, as well as weddings. So whatever the occasion, a celebrant helps create that wonderful personalised ceremony for you. We don't copy and paste. Each ceremony is written bespoke. So there you have it, the key differences between a registrar and a celebrant. Both play incredibly important roles, but if you're looking for a ceremony which is bespoke and unique to you and speaks to who you are and includes all of the wonderful sides of your personalities and your interests, then a celebrant is right for you. If you would like to have a chat about what I can do for your ceremony, feel free to get in touch. I'll put my details in the box below. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. I do all of them. I'm mostly on Instagram though, so that would be the best one. And feel free to visit my website and pop me over an email and we can set up a Zoom chat to have a little discussion about what I can do for you. In the meantime, like, subscribe, share, all the wonderful YouTube things, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.